yo. What's up? It's elusive, coming straight from misery, you know. Let's see what we got today. It says exposing music's greatest scam. We'll see. We shall see. Let's do it. Oh, let's switch this shit around. I think it's this one. You know what? Let's try this one. Let's try this. Let's see how this works out. All right, y'all. Let's go.
Having to give back their Grammy is the only time that has happened in music history.
And the best new artist is
Milli Vanilli.
Milli Vanilli.
In the late 1980s, Milli Vanilli was the band everyone was talking about.
It's Milli Vanilli. Milli Vanilli.
Milli Vanilli.
Milli Vanilli.
Milli Vanilli. We're going to a Milli Vanilli concert.
But on July 21st, 1989, Milli Vanilli got caught lip-syncing on live television.
More embarrassment today for the pop singing group Milli Vanilli.
A lot of singers do that on stage, and normally it wouldn't be a big deal. But this time, it was different, because Milli Vanilli wasn't lip-syncing to their own voices. They were just two dancers hired to lip-sync to tracks recorded by professional singers. And now, you've probably heard the story before, but here's the thing nobody is talking about. Some of today's biggest music stars are still doing exactly what Milli Vanilli did. They use ghost singers to record their tracks and pretend it's their own songs. So we dug deep into this story, and what we found was just shocking. Some of the most famous names in pop music are faking it, and yet nobody seems to care anymore.
Which is very common in the music industry.
Before we get into that, what we thinking, for real? What we thinking? Is this a thing, for real? I mean, we'll see, obviously, but do you think that there are singers, or I guess he's going to get into some of the artists, I don't know, we'll see. But some of the artists don't sing. I mean, I can believe it to a point. I mean, I guess it depends on what artist we're talking about, but we'll see. Let's see.
Let me tell you a story.
I cannot believe
Of 87, he has an idea, and I think maybe...
This is Frank Farian, a German producer who wanted to break into the American market in the late 80s. And he knew exactly what would sell. Young, attractive performers who could put on a show on stage. So he found two good-looking professional dancers, Rob Pilates and Fabrice Morvan.
They said, we're working on a project and we're thinking that you could be good for it, if we were interested. Hell yeah, we were interested.
They had the moves, the look, the stage presence, everything you'd want from a proper pop star. There was only one tiny problem. They couldn't sing. So Frank came up with what he thought was a genius idea.
One click in my mind, and the crazy idea was born. Yeah.
What if he hired professional singers to record the vocals? And Rob and Fab? Well, they could just pretend to sing.
Rob turns to me, he's saying, they don't want us to sing. They want us to lip sync the song. I'm like, what?
Since I'm an actor, an entertainer, he needed an act who poses as a singer. You know, he don't want us to sing. He never tried our vocals.
He brought in established session singers Charles Shaw, John Davies, and Brad Howell. These were professionals who would nail every note, hit every harmony perfectly, but they didn't quite have that look that Frank Farian was looking for.
Always about the look. You know, sometimes, not even sometimes, all the time for the most part, I guess. Get off the looks, alright? Like, let's get back to the talent. You ain't gotta look amazing. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be this superficial model bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Dude, just sing or whatever your talent is. Do that.
So Farian made a deal with them. The session singers would get paid well, but stay anonymous. Rob and Fab, would become the faces. Let's just stay on Frank for a second, because this is important. Frank Farian is kind of a genius. And I think you might have heard of him because he had already done something similar earlier in Europe in the 70s and 80s with a band called Boney M. And with Boney M, it was actually Farian himself who sang on Boney M's original recordings, not Bobby Farrell, the frontman everyone saw performing. It was a huge, huge success. You probably heard of Boney M yourself. So when Frank set out to conquer America, he knew the formula would work.
Have you heard of that? Boney M? I never heard of it.
Milli Vanilli released Girl You Know It's True and Blame It on the Rain. The songs became massive hits. For 2 years, it worked perfectly.
7 million albums sold. This year's Grammy for the best new artists.
There are a lot of artists outside in the world who can achieve the same award that we achieved today. And it's an award for all artists in the world. Thank you very much.
Frank Farian was finally cracking the American market. Until that one technical error on July 21st, 1989.
This shit
vocals that were
embarrassing.
being cued from the emulator started repeating.
80,000 people, girl, you know, it's girl, you know. You know, I couldn't repeat it 15 times. Girl, you know, it got obvious. So I stopped, I panicked, I ran off stage.
Milli Vanilli turns out to be a lot of phony baloney.
Uno de los mayores escándalos discográficos en la historia del pop.
The aftermath was chaos. People were confused, suspicious, and demanding answers.
Meet Spedience Gym Monster 2, your all-in-one smart home gym. Set it up anywhere.
A California woman who bought the album for her son is suing to get a refund.
For months, they tried to stick to the story.
Do you want to get it on and tell me now to be your everything?
For the last year, they've been working on a new album, on the dance steps and on the singing.
But in November of 1990, Frank Farian held a press conference and dropped the bomb.
I think it's fair we show the real singer.
And just like that, it was all over. For the first time in history, a Grammy was being revoked. But the biggest toll fell on Rob and Fab. They weren't just cancelled, they were vilified, seen as immoral human beings who had lied to millions of fans.
A lot of your fans will be very upset by the fact that the only way you can explain the charade, the farce, the fakery of the last year, 2 years is money.
It's not. This is fake.
There's no other reason. That's the only.
It's money. Come on, man. If it was for all fun and just for the love of the game, then you wouldn't have, you know what I'm saying? You would have told somebody, look, this is them, we do this. You know, don't get me wrong, I know it's not that simple, but money, dog. He said, hey, look, I got an idea. We gonna hit you with some money. You gonna go out there and dance and act like you're singing, even though you're not. Everybody's gonna think you are, and you're gonna get a nice check and be celebrities. Come on now. Not about the money.
Pressure that Fabian put on you was financial.
Do you live in a project? Did you live in a project?
The psychological toll was immense.
In order to cope with it, we got into the alcohol and the drugs. It was to numb ourselves and to be able to, like medication, self-medicating.
There was nothing to believe no more for me. I lost the good, the innocence.
Keine neue Chance, mich zu rehabilitieren. Und der Fabrice auch. Und wir haben sehr darunter gelitten. Und von diesem Absturz habe ich mich jetzt bis jetzt immerhin noch nicht erholt.
Rob Pilatus struggled with depression and substance abuse, and he died of an overdose in 1998 at just 32 years old.
That's sad.
The Milli Vanilli scandal became a cautionary tale. Everyone thought this was an isolated case of fraud in the music industry, because in 1989, people still believed that what they saw was real. Authenticity in music meant everything. And this was my perception. Interesting story, but the music industry evolved, they learned, and surely this couldn't be happening today. But as we kept digging, what we found completely changed the way I see the music industry today.
Once again, Ashley Simpson.
October 23rd, 2004, Saturday Night Live. Ashley Simpson is about to perform her second song of the
I remember this
evening. But then something goes wrong.
Wrong song.
All of a sudden, the wrong track starts playing, and she does that now famous awkward dance and walks off stage. Was this just an unfortunate incident of lip syncing gone wrong?
Like, hold up though. My thing is, if the lip syncing just, you know what I'm saying, if it was her truly singing the song, then it's whatever. It's just a technical fuck up. But I don't get why she did that retarded dance and ran off stage. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Or was it something deeper? There's something about lip syncing that just feels wrong. Like, we hate it when we're being lied to.
Claims that Beyonce was actually lip syncing are now setting the internet ablaze.
When we see Beyonce sing during the inauguration, we expect her to be singing for real, right? And when we find out she's not, we feel betrayed.
I'm very proud of my performance.
Get back to the greatest scam in the music industry.
I froze and I started doing this and I was like, okay, I think I've done the hoedown long enough. Maybe I should walk off.
Ashley Simpson or Beyonce weren't the only ones lip syncing. Artists have been lip syncing to their own voices for decades. The Beatles even did it on the Ed Sullivan Show. Artists did it all the time on MTV because when you're dancing and flipping around with crazy choreography, it's nearly impossible.
See, that makes sense. If you're dancing and singing, you know, it takes a lot of energy to dance. It takes breathing techniques and control for your singing. I get that. I understand that. But if I'm right, Michael Jackson, I believe, did both. And so did Prince at times. But on dancing wise. But I don't mind it so much that you're singing or lip singing while dancing. Now, if you're doing that through the whole concert, which is a bit ridiculous, you know, we basically pay so much money to go see to listen to a CD. That's retarded.
To sing live perfectly when you're on live television. Just think about those Super Bowl halftime shows. Hundreds of millions of people watching. The stakes are huge. So most performances actually do use a lot of lip syncing. And a lot of artists actually do get caught lip syncing.
Crazy rumors I keep hearing about myself. Like that I can't perform without lip syncing. Okay, which is not true. See, when I appeared on the Grammy Awards and sang Baby One More Time, I mean, I had some backup singers doing the harmonies, but I sang all the lead vocals live.
But it was Ashley Simpson's SNL moment that went viral. She got mocked mercilessly. Ashley Simpson went from being a rising star to a national joke almost overnight. She had to apologize publicly.
Well, I handled it calm, but like when it happened, I was definitely like crying, and my dad was like, "Come on, baby, get yourself together."
Appearing on shows to explain herself.
But I feel so bad. My band started playing the wrong song, and I didn't know what to do, so I thought I'd do a hoedown.
And in the beginning, she was just pretending that it was funny and that she didn't care, but it didn't help. For some reason, people just felt betrayed. The incident followed her for years, and unfortunately, it has wound up becoming the defining moment of her career.
Doing this, like, I didn't know how to do that. For me, it was the most humbling experience of my life because the whole world thinks everything that you just put your heart and soul into writing is a joke.
Yet, even with all that backlash, the scandal blew over relatively quickly compared to Milli Vanilli.
But my thing is also, okay, I get it, technical problem, right? Or whatnot. Why don't you just... I thought she had a live band. But anyways, if it was a live band, then they could have just stopped it and played it. Started playing the right music. I don't know. I gotta go back and check, but that I don't know, that don't make sense to me either.
Within a year, she was back performing. We all moved on, because by 2004, the music industry had fundamentally changed. Probably best illustrated by one music production effect: the auto-tune. Auto-tune and other tuning plugins became the #1 weapon of choice for singers. It helped them stay in key. Some criticized it as a crutch for bad singers, but it was also a creative tool. The artist was still the one singing, still performing. It was their voice, heavily processed.
So the tuning is really...
What do you guys think? Is that like considered cheating? That you need auto-tune to stay in key? But at the same time, auto-tune I think is amazing on my part, for real. I think auto-tune is amazing. Because it gives people the chance. Like, you still gotta have some talent. You can't just, like me. You can't just go in there and start singing and expect auto-tune to fix everything for you. Maybe nowadays, I don't know, but I don't know. What you think, man? I don't think it's too bad.
really fast. So we've heard it as a normal performance. Now we've got the effect on.
But here's what auto-tune and other easily accessible audio plugins really changed: the power dynamic. Before these tools, the artist was essential. You needed someone who could actually sing. But now, producers...
It's true. Okay, see, I didn't think about that. That's why, see, I always feel like music lost, like, what I would call the soul of it, because back in the 80s or whatnot, you had those real ballads, those powerful singers like Whitney Houston, obviously, R.I.P. You got like Celine Dion, Mariah Carey, Aretha, people who could sing, and their vocal range would fluctuate. Now, I don't know, you don't have that no more. You just don't have it.
Producers could take on a wider range of singers and still make them sound good.
Someone singing, maybe if some note slightly out of tune, our computer program can actually change it and put it back in tune and give you a perfect take after the event.
The producers got more power. Artists became more of a tool for the producers to use rather than the other way around. But what Milli Vanilli did, using completely different voices, surely that never happened again in the music industry. At least that's what we thought, until we found some shocking evidence that proved us wrong. This is Jennifer Lopez at the 2019 Grammy Awards. Multi-platinum recording artist, global superstar, someone who's built an empire on a music career. She's not actually singing on many of her biggest hits.
She was a dancer.
And this isn't speculation, it's well documented.
And that's crazy, like, I didn't know this, but it makes sense though. She's basically Milli Vanilli if you think about it. She was a dancer. That's what she was known for. She was on what's it called, as one of the girls, one of the Fly Girls. She was a Fly Girl or whatnot. I mean, I don't know.
Reported within the music industry. The problem is just that most people don't know about it. Let's look at the evidence. We can start with the song Play. This song was originally recorded by Christina Milian in 2000. Milian wrote it, recorded it, and it was supposed to be her single. But the label took Milian's vocal performance and gave it to Jennifer.
It's Christina Milian. Shout out to her. That's talent.
Lopez.
Producers tell me, oh, Tommy Mottola's coming in and he's gonna listen to some music. He hears Play, loves it, and he's like, I want this as her single. I recorded the original demo. A month later, Tommy Mottola gets it for Jennifer.
Then there's I'm Real and Ain't It Funny. Ashanti has claimed for years that she performed lead vocals for both massive J-Lo hits. Not background vocals, the lead vocals. The pattern goes beyond just a few songs. Several industry insiders are claiming the same thing, that Lopez's actual vocal contributions to her own albums are minimal. But here's what's fascinating. It's not really a secret.
Mariah says she often sleeps just 3 hours a night. When told Lopez claimed to get 8, Mariah said, quote, "If I had the luxury of not actually having to sing my own songs, I'd do that too."
Music journalists have reported on it for years. The information is out there, yet Jennifer Lopez continues to be celebrated as a recording artist. She's been the judge on American Idol, for Christ's sake.
I love working creatively together with other people, but I'd never thought about being a judge, so this was all a big surprise for me.
Evaluating other people's singing. She headlines tours and festivals where people are paying a lot of money to hear and see her perform. And her fans? Well, many of them know. Social media is full of discussions about Lopez's use of ghost singers. The information isn't hidden. And this creates a weird situation, because Jennifer Lopez is essentially doing exactly the same thing Milli Vanilli did, building a career on other people's voices. I guess the difference is just the execution and the era. Selena Gomez has faced questions about her actual vocal contributions. Industry insiders suggest much of what we hear involves significant help from uncredited singers. The same even goes for Britney Spears during her peak years. And these are just the cases we know about. How many other artists are using ghost singers without any acknowledgement? When Milli Vanilli was exposed, it was a scandal that destroyed careers. But when pop stars do it today, it's barely news. So I guess the question is, what changed? Why did Rob Pilatus and Fab Morvan get destroyed for doing exactly what Jennifer Lopez has built her career on?
Yeah, I understand. I really understand them. I have to say, I understand them.
In the late 80s, fans knew Milli Vanilli through music videos and occasional TV appearances. The relationship was distant, so when the music turned out to be fake, there was nothing else to sustain the connection. Jennifer Lopez, on the other hand, has over 200 million Instagram followers. They see her working out, her family moments, her daily life. Her fans feel like they know her personally.
Pretty, I'm saying you're used to seeing me kind of like the little old lady at home, and then when I get up and start dancing, you're like, oh, right, I forgot she can dance.
And when you feel connected to someone's personality and brand, does the credibility of their work matter as much? But I think it's deeper than just social media.
That right there, that's what it is. At least obviously in my opinion is people get so caught up with, see, I'm not on social media that much, so, which is, I guess, ironic that I'm doing this, even though, whatever. But anyway, I don't get on social media and stuff, I do this thing that's called minding my own business, which a lot of people don't know how to do. But that's what I think it is, man. People get all caught up in all these celebrities' lives. It's like, you follow them. As soon as they post something, you own it. You with it, which is great for them. But what's that doing for you? Because if you're getting screwed over, like say this is true, that most of Jennifer Lopez's music, it's not her singing, then does it matter to those people that like follow her and listen to her music? Because it's like, if Ashanti is Ashanti's the one singing those songs and those are the songs you like, then why wouldn't you go listen to Ashanti? But it's like you all caught up in their personal lives that you think that, for one, you think these people care about you. Two, you think you're friends, like you know them because you see what they do on the internet or what they allow you to see, and then you throw out logic and throw out everything, reason out the window. It's like, I don't know. It don't make sense.
Look at what happened in the 2010s. A new type of superstar emerged and started to dominate the charts. Avicii, Calvin Harris, David Guetta, they're producers. They don't sing on their own songs, and everybody knows it. So what happened in the 2010s was that the producer became the artist. The singer became more of an accessory, the face of the brand, but that's not all. The average hit song today has like 10 writers and 4 producers. And when the song credits look like a Marvel movie end credit, why is the voice sacred? People couldn't care less about who writes or who sings. They care about the song, the celebrity, the icon, the personality. Authenticity became irrelevant. And it's not just music, our entire culture shifted. In 1990, we believed that what we saw was real. We believed in authenticity because we hadn't yet learned to question it. And the Milli Vanilli scandal hit at the worst possible moment, because that was the exact moment where culture turned against polish and perfection. Grunge was about to explode. MTV was launching the real world. Compare that to today, where being real can actually hurt your career.
This is not what I look like right now. This filter should be illegal. Here's the real me.
People on social media use filters to make themselves look completely different than they actually are.
Makes me look like a better person. So it's like, I don't know, sucking my face up that way or that way.
It's called insecurities. It's called you give too much time to what people think about you and how you look. I mean, fuck them.
No, like, it doesn't matter as long as there's something there.
Music is tuned and quantized. Advertising no longer reflects the actual products we're buying. And I know what some of you might be thinking. I have friends who tell me that, why do you care?
You have it listened, you type it in, and then you go digging.
Their argument goes something like this, that music's core purpose is to move people, create joy, provide connection. And if a Selena Gomez concert accomplishes that, does it really matter if she's lip-syncing to someone else's voice? We've never had a problem with this in other entertainment industries. In Hollywood musicals, actors have lip-synced to professional singers' voices for years.
Only you, you're the only thing I'll see forever.
Nobody considered this deceptive.
But that wasn't ever particularly talked about because Hollywood didn't want to destroy the illusion.
And now we have deep fakes, AI content, and social media manipulation. Why is music the one area where authenticity should still matter? Maybe getting shocked and upset about ghost singers is like being shocked that Marvel movies use CGI. Of course they do. Maybe I have to look at it more as I look at professional wrestling. Like, I know it's fake, but I love the spectacle anyway. But I just can't accept that. And here's why.
Old pirates, yes, they rob us.
This is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about authenticity. When I hear Johnny Cash, I know it's him. There's just something in his voice that cannot be faked. The gravel, the pain, the lived experience. Adele, Freddie Mercury, Kurt Cobain, these voices are fingerprints. So when I see Jennifer Lopez on stage and hear someone else's voice, what am I actually experiencing? When I listen to Milli Vanilli, who am I really connecting with? The promise of music has always been simple. This person singing these words, sharing their voice with you. And when that basic contract gets broken, when the person you see isn't the person you hear, we lose something that goes way deeper than just entertainment. But here's what really bothers me. We've normalized this loss of trust. We live in a world where models don't look like their photos, where influencers present lives that don't exist, where politicians sell visions that bear no resemblance to reality, where everything is filtered, processed, optimized for consumption. And I can speak for myself. Somewhere along the way, I just stopped fighting back. I accepted that authenticity is old-fashioned, naive,
He said he just accepted it. He basically he gave up because he's fighting a war that you can't win. But submitting to it also is not the way to do it. I don't know. You know, and this is my thing, right? My thing is this: people know, or there's been enough information out there. There's been enough, conspiracy theories or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you want to call it. There's been enough information out there that people should start being aware of, one, what goes in their food, why most countries do not sell the food that they sell us here because of certain ingredients or certain dyes because it's healthy or it's unhealthy for us, but it seems to be okay. You know, it's okay that our government or whoever you want to call it, elites, 1%, the government, whoever it is, it's okay for them to poison us and we just go with it rather than fight back. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I ain't getting into that, but it's just everybody out for themselves. That's all it is.
Realistic. And the Milli Vanilli scandal happened at a moment in time when we still believed things could be real and should be real, when discovering that something was fake actually mattered. But that innocence is lost. We've become so accustomed to being lied to that we stopped expecting the truth. Milli Vanilli didn't just expose a scandal in the music industry, they exposed a turning point in our culture. The moment when we decided that feeling real was good enough, even when it wasn't real at all. Oh, one more thing before I let you go. We did a video about Ozzy Osbourne recently, and we're really, really proud of it. And for some reason, we feel like it hasn't gotten the attention it deserves. If you want to watch it, it's here. And if you like this video, I promise you will love that one. And check out Incogni through the link in the description, incogni.com/asapark. And as always, be curious.
That was a cool little video. That wasn't a bad video. It wasn't bad. I'll definitely link him in his description but what you guys think? What do you think about that video? For real.